Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you. I am Demetra Kaye of the Demetra Kaye Show here on YouTube. And right now, obviously, right, I am on the African Diaspora News Channel. So thank you so much for joining me here. Just a couple of things before we get started. Of course, we're going to be talking about if them folks can quit MAGA, then why can't Black Americans quit the Democrats? Now, I know somebody probably saw the thumbnail and crashed out, but that's okay. We'll explain all of it in just a few. Of course, I have a couple of rules here. One, I'll speak for about 15 to 20 minutes or so, give or take. And then I'll spend the rest of the time in the comment section with you, addressing your questions, your comments, concerns, whatever it is that you may have. I'll be happy to do that. And of course, while we wait just a couple of more moments, y'all see down there at the bottom, we have an app, the African Diaspora News app you can find on your Play Store, of course, on your phone. Now, we ask you to do that for a few reasons. One, it is Black owned. It's for us, by us. We know that YouTube, which you're watching me on right now, is not for us, right? Well, we can use it, but it's not by us, right? So we don't have any say-so at all. We have no democracy when it comes to the dynamics of YouTube. They can do what they want, when they want, how they want. Good morning, baby goat. How you doing? And all of that. And so, of course, again, the app is made for us, where you could go and get the news you can use, and it's not watered down, right? Like here, especially if y'all know me personally, I have to, water it down a whole lot. But on the app, of course, we can make things and we could say things how we want to say it without having to bridle our tongue and all that for them folks. So, yeah, that's for y'all. Of course, we know there's a lot of boycotts and things coming up because we're in a holiday season. So people are saying, yeah, let's boycott, the corporations. It's nothing new. But if you have to spend some money, do it with something Black owned. Right? You can do it with our app, like I said. And of course, while we're on this channel, there's a whole host of ways you can support the channel by subscribing, right? Of course, liking the video, becoming a member, super chats, all that stuff, right? That helps. So we thank you in advance. Anyway, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into it. So, of course, you guys know there's a lot of things going on in this country in regards to politics, right? Now, today, and I haven't checked the news, so I don't know exactly if they voted. Hey, Troy, how you doing? If they have voted on releasing the Epstein files. Now, last week, they being the Democrats, like the House committee or something, they voted to release the emails that the family, the estate of Epstein sent. But today, they're voting to release the files from the FBI. I remember the FBI says, oh, we don't have the files, but I guess magically they appeared out of thin air or whatever the case is. And so with that, there's been a lot of revelations in regards to is Trump in there? They say that he is a copious amount of times right now. What exactly he was doing in there, I guess that remains to be seen if they vote to open up the Epstein files and things like that. So, of course, with that, MAGA, y'all know MAGA, Make America Great Again, that was fashioned by that of President Donald Trump around 2016-ish, maybe 2015, when he was first running. And, of course, everybody that supported Trump ran around with the red hats. And I'm going to show y'all some videos and things in just a minute. But they ran around with the red hats, Make America Great Again. But, everybody from different walks of life were like, what does that mean, right? And he says, well, let's go back to the golden age. And it's like, well, what does that mean? So I don't know if MAGA was ever really defined. Now, of course, some people say, well, that means make America white again and all that. I don't know. You can do what you want to do with that. Nevertheless, MAGA is dissatisfied. And again, because of the Epstein files, and they believe that, Trump may be in there. Also, they believe that it's wrong for people to protect PDF files. We'll say that because we can't really say the other word. It's wrong to protect those people. There's a lot of Republicans, especially like, well, and they're even justifying it, right? Like, what's her name? Megyn Kelly. She's, now she's a YouTuber podcaster, but I think she was on Fox News or something like that. And she was like, well, Epstein wasn't really into like young people per se. He was into like barely legal type things. And people were like, did you just excuse what we think you excuse type thing? And there's other people, in offices that are like, well, it's not that bad. And there was one dude out there talking about, well, when I was 22, I got in trouble for being with a 16-year-old. And it wasn't that it was illegal where they're from. It was that he's a teacher and she was a student. It's like, y'all getting on the internet and admitting that. So it's kind of like they're trying to make that okay. But there's a lot of people who are not okay with that. All right. So then you have a lot of people in the MAGA party who are saying, well, it's not really America first. So I'm going to show y'all a video and then I'm going to show y'all some tweets. The Southeast Londoner, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Lockjaw, what's going on? Thank you for that. So here we go.
Economy. You have MAGA on the one side. And what does this even stand for anymore? You got MAGA on one side. What does that even mean? Make America great for who? Make it great for Israel, Indian immigrants, Chinese students, illegal immigrant farm workers. Make America great again for them. Make Israel great. Make America great for the global empire, defense contractors, big pharma, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, Palantir. You got MAGA on the one side. Like I said, Brandy Fine, Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz. And then on the other side, you got America first. No ambiguity, no ifs, ands, or buts. What does that mean? America first, Americans first, America only. America first is our credo. Americanism, not globalism, is the credo. Tucker, Fuentes, Candace, Marjorie, Thomas Massey, Dan Bilzerian, Myron, Jake Shields, Lucas Gage, all the greats, all the usual suspects. That's the question. Aiden Ross, Sneeko. Yay. This is the dichotomy. What are you for? Are you with America first or are you with MAGA? I think after this month, after this year, 2025 is the year that MAGA died. This is the year that this hat is no longer controversial. The hat is not edgy. The hat is not provocative. It doesn't even mean anything. This hat is dead. This hat is dead. Now, metaphorically speaking. And this is the future. America first is the future. Explicit, unambiguous, direct, actually has denotative meaning. America first is the credo.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
Okay, so let's remove that. Of course, the first person was Nick Fuentes, and he's neither here or there with me. He's very problematic, does not like Black people and all that, but he was defining the difference between MAGA and America First. Right now, from what I understand, he used to be MAGA, but it sounds like he's kind of falling out with them due to a whole lot of things that he's saying, especially in regards to Israel. But he's, said MAGA is these people like the Ted Cruz's and the things that they're championing. And then America First is the people that he named Candace Owens and the people, we really just don't cut for. Well, I don't. I can only speak for myself. But he's basically saying that America First, that's the party, and they're all kind of changing the hats type of thing. They're saying America First is just that, right? It's about the business of Americans. Of course, you guys know that Trump has gotten in a little bit of hot water, maybe a lot with his party due to giving a lot of money to different countries and things like that. And then it was a slap in the face, especially during the shutdown when he gave Argentina $40 billion. And then went on saying, hey, we're going to buy their beef too, right? We're going to be running around here eating Argentine beef. But the cattle ranchers here in the United States were like, what about our beef, right? So, of course, they began to say that, well, Trump is not really America first. Then, of course, there was, some white girl. She's changing hats, illustrating that she's no longer MAGA. She's now American first. And then you heard from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Of course, she was big time, staunch Trump supporter, right? Big time MAGA. But she's kind of shifted away from that. She says that, you know, same thing, America first and things like that. And of course, she's fallen out of favor with Trump. He's called her a traitor, like she said. I've even seen her daughter and I guess her boyfriend on Twitter saying that my mom and my, you know, whatever, life is in danger because, you know, people are stalking her and threatening her life now that she's broken from Trump. So she kind of feels like he kind of sicked the dogs on her type of thing. But of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's not innocent because she was cheering when he was doing it to everybody else. Now, these are some things that I've seen as well. Of course, you have the patriotic blonde. She says, people are posting this all over social media. What a sad end to something we all worked so hard for. I never thought it would end this way. And at the bottom, you have Evan Kilgore. I've seen him a lot. He's, you know, he's big time MAGA as well. He says, President Trump has just withdrawn his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene and made fun of Thomas Massie. He's a Republican who's like open up the files type thing for getting remarried after his wife died. MAGA is dead. Then this guy here, he says, message to Donald Trump. I stood in the cold at your rallies. I bought your merch. I donated to your campaign. I took your side over family members just to have you safeguard the PDF files, right? And put Americans last. So these are just a snippet of examples of people from MAGA her saying, I'm no longer going to be that, right? We're going to be American first. Now, I've already kind of glanced over to the comment section just a little bit, and I see some people have come in here hot with their emotions, but that's okay. I'm going to get to that in just a second because unfortunately, and I'm going to say, I don't know who you are, what you are, but sometimes people just don't have the patience to see it through, right? You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and your eyes probably bulging out of your head and all that other stuff. But anyway, so the reason why I said if them folks, because it's mostly them folks, right, can leave MAGA, why can't Black Americans leave the Democratic Party? Well, as we've seen, just a small example, they're like, okay, we're dissatisfied. I think that's the word we want to go with. We're dissatisfied, so we're going to go and switch to something else. Now, will America First Party be like MAGA? Probably, right? Because you still have the same characters who are, you know, just jumping ship onto another ship, right? But even with that, they're like, okay, we're not in love with MAGA anymore. MAGA is not putting us first, okay? Now, let's go to Black Americans, right? It is not a secret that most of us, when I say most of us, I'm talking about collectively, we are the Democratic Party, you know, person to go to, right? Group of people to go to. We have been that for at least 60 years. Voting for absolutely nothing. We have supported the Democratic Party with no tangibles at all, right? We get a lot of broken promises. We get the carrot. Hey, if you just do this, we may, woulda, coulda, shoulda. There was a time where every once in a while you would hear them mention reparations, you know, like Maxine Waters, for example, when she got into office in the 90s, she was talking about reparations, but when she got to Washington, it was like, I said that? I was talking about reparations? So you don't hear her really talk about it at all, right? And of course, they had this HR 40, the study of reparations. That was put into place by, I think it was John Conyers. And then Sheila Jackson Lee picked it up. But again, it was just a study. It was no money. And that never even passed, you know, fully through Congress anyway. So again, no tangibles. We know that the Democratic Party prioritizes every other group outside of us, right? Knowing that the Black voter votes for the Democrat Party more than any other group of people. It's just a fact, whether you like it or not. But we get less than everybody else. Okay, let's go back to the last administration because we could be here forever, right? But let's just go back a year where Biden was in office. Y'all remember he stood up there after he won the presidency. He was president-elect at that point. And he says, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, my Black Americans, you stood by me or you have my back and I'm going to have your back. Well, we know that didn't happen because we saw him and Kamala. They kicked the doors wider, right, to the border because they were already kind of open, but they kicked them open even more so. And they allowed millions of immigrants to come into the country illegally. Of course, we know that that has an adverse effect on us, right? We've heard a lot of this replacement theory type of thing. And so our votes, and I say our, I mean Black Americans, whether you voted for them or not, our votes made that possible. We make it possible every time the Democrat Party talks about other people, and not even just talk about them, but do for them. You can go to somewhere like Chicago, where Mayor Brandon Johnson, you see him crashing out all the time on the news behind what they're doing to the illegal immigrants in the ICE facilities, and we got to protect them, we got to do this, and we got to do that. And the only time he mentions Black Americans is when he want to talk about his ancestors on the plantation and try to make a comparison. Well, you know, that's how they did the slaves on the plantation. Oh, that's how they did my ancestors. It's like, wait a minute. Now, why are you putting these two together when they have nothing to do with each other, right? But that's the only time he talks about Black Americans at all. Of course, we also know that he gave a copious amount of money. It said that Chicago was over $1 billion in debt due to them funding that of illegal immigration. They got housing, they got money, they got a whole lot of things. And you can go to New York, you can go to California, you can go everywhere and see the benign neglect of Black Americans. Now, what does that mean? The benign neglect means that, yeah, I see there's an issue that needs to be solved, but guess what? If we just cover our eyes, right? Cover our eyes and pretend like that issue is not there, maybe it'll solve itself. Maybe it'll poof, it'll disappear. That is what they have done. It is a thing. They have studied it and it has worked. I would say probably up until the last couple of years or so, where you started to get the insurgence of new Black media. I guess that's what you want to call us or whatever it is, where we really began to disseminate the message of, well, why are we loyal to the Democrats? Well, like, what's in it for us, right? So then more and more people start to say, you're right. Never thought about that. Now, the other thing is, and this is not to absolve the Republicans. We know that the Republicans do not care for us. We know that they don't do anything for us. They rarely even really show up to try to get us to vote for them. But we also know that the Democrats have participated in creating harmful systems, right? What is that? We know the crime bills. Of course, I know this does not absolve the Republicans, but if the Democrats are the party of Black people, why in the world are they creating crime bills that disproportionately have harmed Black people, right? We can go to the 1994 crime bill, which was supposed to be the 3 strikes law, but it ended up catching up a whole bunch of our people in the system under the 3 strike law, 25 to life mandatory, right? And then a lot of those judges, they had what you call mandatory minimums. It's like, well, I don't really think you did anything that bad, but because these laws are in place, I have to sentence you at the minimum, whatever that might be. Again, keeping in mind that 25 to life. Of course, we heard Joe Biden when he was a senator, right? He was proud to say, I am the author of every major and minor crime bill since, what was it, 1976 or something like that. So he's very proud of that. The crack and powder cocaine disparity. If you were white, you probably did cocaine. You got in some rehab. But if you were Black, of course, we know that they dropped that off in our neighborhood. You were Black and you did crack. I know that rhyme, right? Yeah, you got dealt with very austerely. You got prison and a whole lot of stuff ripped away our communities, right? And those are Democrats who were championing that. In fact, I think it was the 1994 crime bill. Joe Biden told Bill Clinton, I don't think what you're trying to do is harsh enough, right? Of course, I could be here forever with examples. Another thing was, as far as us as Black people in the Democratic Party, we do not have any leverage because our loyalty is predictable, right? They know that the Black Americans, they'll vote for us no matter what we do, no matter what we say, because they gonna vote blue no matter who. Now, I know everybody says this kind of thing too, but this is, because we vote for them the most, right? My mama and them, my daddy and them, and all this other stuff. So that if I'm in the, the machine of the Democrat Party, and I'm thinking about Black Americans, I'm like, well, we don't really need to spend a lot of money and resources and things like that with them because they just gonna do it anyway, right? What comes to my mind is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when he talks about other like foreign businesses, they set up shop in our community. They don't have to advertise. All they got to do is just put a, chicken and rice house in the community. They don't have to say, hey, we got a chicken and rice house. We just go over there, right? We just do it. So they know there's money there. Same thing with the Democratic Party. They know there's votes there with the Black community. They know there's going to be a whole lot of Democrat shills telling us to sign up and line up to vote for absolutely nothing. And if you don't, you're a horrible person, and this, that, and the other. How dare you, be a free thinker and think outside of what we're trying to do. So with that blind loyalty, we don't have any leverage because we're predictable. Now, the other thing is the Democrats, of course, they give us symbolism. They give us slogans, vote blue no matter who, hope and change, right? Again, Ann Coulter was like, well, what is hope and change? Obama never defined it, and nobody ever asked him to define it, just like MAGA. What exactly is MAGA? I don't know, make America great again, but what exactly does that mean? Of course, they give us street murals. Now you see that the Trump administration has made everybody scrape those up, right? Whether it's BLM or whatever it is, and we didn't ask for that. Then, of course, the holidays. We got a hip hop holiday. We got Juneteenth, but most of us was already celebrating Juneteenth, and we didn't need Kamala and her husband at her mansion there in Washington having no hip hop party to celebrate Hip Hop Day. We're gonna be that regardless of if they make it a holiday or whatever it is they did. So they give us a lot of nothing burgers, okay? A lot of symbolism. Now, what should we be doing? And then I'm gonna get into the comment section. We should be voting for policy, right? With them. What's in it for me, right? What's in it for Black Americans for me to continue to vote for that? Is that policy going to help me? Or, I don't want that little residual that's going to come from the policy because it's actually meant to help everybody else. And then Black Americans get the little, crumbs from the table, whatever. Again, tangibles. Are we getting a reparations bill? Are we getting a hate crime bill? All the other stuff that we've been asking for, and it's not a hard ask. And a lot of people say, well, where are they going to get the money from? They get the money for everything else. They can get the money for us. They got the money when they paid the slave master, when slavery was over for losing his slaves. They found the money somewhere then. Surely they can find the money, to atone for the original sin of America. I'd imagine it, of course, again, we should be independent. Now, I am that. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. I was a Democrat. I was a staunch Democrat a few years back or so. But then when I started to hear different thought processes and things like that, and I'm going to tell you, it wasn't easy. I was like, no, we're not going to be a Democrat, and I've even rattled that off. Well, Obama's doing the best he can, And then, of course, when I was like, okay, let me really think about this, I was like, yeah, it sounds like I should probably be independent. Nonpartisan, and I've been that ever since, right? Because I don't want anybody, any party to believe that I owe them my allegiance, especially if they've done nothing for me, right? Now, of course, we should be building, and Dr. Claude Anderson has told us that, and I'm gonna say this, Marcus Garvey has told us that we should be building, right? Up, you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. The nation of Islam, do for self. We should be doing that. And when we do that, then we'll have a little bit more leverage. We could say, okay, bet we got unity. We got our thing rocking and rolling. We got our money. We're not giving 97% of that away to everybody else. So this is what we want to do. Okay. Dr. Claude Anderson, he gave us the 5, levels of the building per se, education, politics, the court system, the media, things like that. We can buy into those things. We can influence those things because we are moving as one. But again, I know some people got a little bit salty because I kind of tied us together with MAGA. It wasn't my intention to necessarily tie us or even to compare, but I always say this. One thing about white folks, if you don't believe me, you can go look yourself. One thing about white folks, when they elect somebody to office and they don't do the job they say they was going to do, they be like, you out of here, buddy. You got to go. We're going to get somebody else up in here, which is kind of what we're seeing a little bit of now. But us, unfortunately, they Black. I'm going to keep them in office. Maxine Waters, yeah, she reclaiming her time. She doing this, that, the other. Jim Clyburn, he got a hell of a fish fry going on. We just, instead of saying, okay, they reclaiming your time, the fish fry, the hot sauce, all that. But what are we getting from it? What is Jim Clyburn doing? Specifically for Black Americans? Oh, nothing? Oh, he got to go. What's Maxine Waters doing? Oh, nothing? She got to go. And anybody else who continues to get our vote, whether they white, Black, green, whatever they are not doing anything for Black Americans, then they got to go. But I was saying, we've been told this a lot, we should be in our own party, an independent party, so that nobody assumes our votes. So that's what I was saying, that, if MAGA could leave, them folks can leave MAGA, then surely we could do it. So I'm going to see what you guys got to say, and thank you for bearing with me. Because I see some people already, okay, let's start here. AJ, I'm gonna say that how you doing? It says following behind them folks is what got us here to begin with. How about we don't give our vote to just any party until they agree to listen to the issues that are important to our communities? I co-sign that. Totally. Should have read your comment and we could have just been done, right? Mr. 25, how you doing? It says a lot of are sick. I think it said a lot of people are sick, is what you're trying to say. Of seeing, okay. So a lot of y'all, okay, I think you're saying y'all are sick of seeing me, Gary, and Donovan always pandering for Trump. Well, I don't know where you've been in the last 2 years or so, but Gary has gone on to glory. Okay. Gary he ain't here no more. Okay. He's gone. RIP to him. Okay. Now, as far as Donovan, I cannot speak for Donovan, but you ain't never heard me pander to Trump. Never. Right? See, I'm one of those people, I call you out when you're lying, and you're lying. You've never seen me pander to Trump. So I hope that helps. But yeah, Gary gone. Avenger Ancestor, how you doing? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Queen Envy, how you doing? Yep, vote independent. Okay, Mr. 25. I don't know, maybe you're neurotic or something, but you're not going to keep on repeating that up in here. If you do it again, I'm going to block you. Hey, Sister Sunlight, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, baby go. Mr. 25 at it. No, yeah. Maybe he likes me. That's okay. Sunlight says, I haven't seen any independent candidates that will improve life for Black Americans. Yeah, well, we need to find some. There are some. Of course, Brother Marcel Dixon, he is challenging that. I'm just, off the top of my head, challenging, or he was anyway. I don't know if he's running again, Jim Clyburn, but for whatever reason, South Carolinians, Lenny, is that how you say it? They don't want him to hold the office. Right? He's talking some good stuff, reparations and all that other stuff, but I don't know. We just kind of go with the name, right? Well, they've been in office this long. I like them. They be saying some good stuff. Like Sister Jasmine Crockett. I don't think she's a dumb woman or anything like that, but I think she definitely is playing a character. But again, that's kind of the talking points as well. Get out there and, get a preachy thing going on and talk about a, bad built bleach blonde, because they like that kind of stuff, right? We be, ooh, hey, she sure did tell him. Great. After she done cussed out Marjorie Taylor Greene, now what is she going to do for Black Americans in her district? Crystal, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, yeah, I don't want no Argentinian beef. They can keep it right. I mean, we can't even afford the beef over here. Trust me, I do be. Yes, I said I do be walking by the beef, and I'm like, not today, because it's high. Tibbs, how you doing? Yeah, and Mr. Tibbs, ain't no telling who he is. God love him anyway. Gears, the truth, how you doing? Says this title screams, I want to be like white folks. Well, I mean, if that's what you extrapolated from that, maybe that's a personal issue. You know what I mean? Because you can't project that on me. One thing about me, I'm very intentional. If I say I wanted us to be like white folks, I will say I want us to be like white folks. I don't need to bite my tongue. My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid, none whatsoever. The Great or the Red. Okay. Now, if that's what you got from that title, then you might need to come to Jesus moment with yourself. I'm just saying. Mike, how you doing? I hope you're doing well today. David, what's going on with you? Oh, everything is happening. I went to the gym today and I thought I was going to come on here sweating because I sweat a lot when I leave the gym, but it stopped. So yes, but I'm doing well. Other than that, Crystal says they supposed to be voting to release them Epstein files today. I don't think they're going to do it because they fear Trump's retaliation. Well, they better fear the retaliation of their people, right? They people in their district, because they're like, yeah, we're going to hold you accountable. And my thing is, there's a lot of things you could be known as or whatever. Okay, fine. Y'all say I'm a Trump supporter or whatever, which I'm not, but I don't care. I'm going to sleep at night, regardless of what you think of me. But I don't want nobody to be thinking I am that. When we say that, I mean the PDF. Like, at the end of the day, if you never go back to office or none of that, why would you want people to be like, yeah, that's the person that, voted to protect people who do that to children? I don't know. But then again, let me shut up if I get in trouble. Joe Nasty, how you doing? It says, hello, been watching you guys for 9 years. Ooh, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Mr. 25, it says, it's Trump destroying America, not Democrats. And you said, yo mama. They're both destroying the country. Okay. I know you one of those vote blue no matter who people, but that's okay. You know, if it works for you, it works for you. But you're not going to change my mind, homie. Extreme X, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, keep dreaming black people are compromised. Yeah, but we can undo that. You think we can undo that? You think we can unbrainwash ourselves like Mr. 25? You think he's capable of being unbrainwashed? I don't know. What do we need to do? Y'all remember that scene in Undercover Brother where they put Eddie, what's the name? His name escapes me, but Eddie Griffin, I think it is, when they put him in front of that machine and they were unbrainwashing him because, you know, he loved white women and all that. Maybe we could do that to Mr. 25. John Ashley says, realistically, we in the black community definitely cannot trust most candidates on either side. Yeah, but now we got to get to the point of saying, now we're not going to support you. We don't care who you are. You got to bag it up, homie. Line it up. We hear what you saying, but what are you going to do? We need to see all of that, right? And don't be getting behind and closed doors. Well, you know, I want to support black people, but nah. Get out there like you get out there and you fight for the illegal immigrants and all that and fight for black Americans. See, that's where we need to be at, right? And people get mad when they say, oh, I'm going to sit on the couch. Oh, you can't do that because sitting on the couch is a vote for Trump. Oh, that's a vote my behind on the couch. That's all that is, right? I'm not going to be forced to go vote for something that ain't going to be for me. So that's how we got to be. We got to be kind of like gangster with it. Cal Polk Ranch, how you doing? Thank you for that. You say, I'll make sure I skip a comment. He says, I disagree with us leaving the Democrat Party. MAGA laid out the blueprint on how to take over a party. We need to use that blueprint in our party. Okay, let's dissect that. Let's dissect that. It says we need to use that blueprint to in our party. So you're saying the Democrats are our party? What makes the Democrat Party our party? Now, I know we got this false sense of ownership of the Democrat Party, but what makes it our party? Because, you know, like if I go, I don't know, have a party or something, I'm going to go rent a hall or something. Is it my party hall or am I just renting it? Are the benefits temporary? I don't know, but what makes it, and I'm not trying to, you know, give you a hard time, but I'm asking what makes the Democrat Party our party? And thank you so much once again for that donation. It's much appreciated. Sister Cynthia, how you doing? Says, but then he allowed his illegal immigrants to overflow and throw our communities and financial institutions. So you're talking about Biden? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, I kind of think that was part of the plan. Extreme Extra says, you better hope birthright citizenship falls through. Well, I mean, if it does, well, let's say it doesn't. What are we going to do? Are you talking about in regards to us, who was originally written for, or who they're trying to use it for? Because if it does fall through, let's say for us, what are we going to do about it? African Native, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mavericka, hope I said that right. How you doing? Mr. 25 says, okay, so what good has Trump and Republicans did for blacks? None. That's a short answer. None. Yeah, there you go. See, I see people asking you, what are the Democrats have done? Extremist says, now all of a sudden black people calling Joe Biden uncle. Who doing that? Uncle Joe? He ain't none of my doggone uncle. That's weird. We just, I don't know. Let's see. And Crystal says the Democrats thought they really had our vote on lock. Yeah, they almost had us, right? And then last year we kind of shimmied our way out of there just a little bit, enough for them to take notice, which is kind of why they was bringing people up over here, potentially to give them rights. And they'll always, you know, as they say, have that buffer class type thing or whatever, because they already got us. And in a sense, they still have us. I talked about it the other day. I don't know if that video came out on the channel yet, but Black men in California, to the tune of 91% more than anybody of the group of voters, voted for Proposition 50. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have, but, you know, we're still very beholden rather to the Democrat Party. That was a proposition to give Democrats more of a stronghold in California, taking Republican seats. So, yeah, Thank you so much, Cynthia. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, good morning, beautiful Jazzy. Jasmine Crockett was in Detroit, and the word on the street is she was shilling hard for votes and the Democrats. Yeah, I saw a video. I don't know who the guy is that's running, but they were dancing together kind of back to back and using a kind of a vulgar song, I would think, you know, to be a politician. And I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of want my politicians to just level up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know what song it was, but then I saw the video and I said, well, they're giving us, I guess, what they think we like. More symbolism, more booty shaking. And I don't know. I don't know why, as smart as they say they are, they haven't really sat at the table and say, yeah, Black people ain't really feeling that no more, you know? But yeah, I did see that. But thank you once again. Much appreciated. Let me see. Yeah, African Native says nothing is holy in a holiday. Nope. Jordy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says I'm a Black independent myself. You better say that. Mary, how you doing? Says, and that's never vote for the Communist Socialist Democrat Party, no matter what color they are. They're Muslims outsmarter than they have Cortez. What tiny Communist Party with soldiers? Okay. Whatever, man. I'm just reading the comment. That wasn't to you. Black Rose, how you doing? Says FBA should stop voting Democrats because Democrats do not defend or support FBA. Yeah, they, you know who they support. They down with everybody else but Black Americans. I mean, I'm just saying, though, would you, like, if you had a loyal person, at first you kind of maybe had to do something for them. You know, you go back to the 1930s under FDR where he wasn't trying to kick it with Black people, right? But it was his wife that was like, yo, they could vote and you kind of embattled here. So you need the Black vote. And so he included us in the New Deal, right? So that was something we got, but what have we gotten really since then? You know, so, but would you continue to give something to somebody if you don't have to do that anymore? They'll just show up anyway. Shoot, I'm going to keep my money in my pocket. Yeah. African Native says at birth, we mentioned at birth, we're mentioned on the birth certificate, religion, Christian, political affiliation, Democrat, wake up Black people. Yeah, my religion ain't on. I don't think it's on my birth certificate. If it is, it obviously would have been Muslim, right? Y'all know I was born into the Nation of Islam. So yeah, let's see. I mean, if you don't know, you know now. Baby Go, he says, ma'am, he's being disrespectful. He said the G-A-Y word is projection. You know, he's protesting a little too much. So I don't know. Some people just sometimes like when they say things, they really just kind of want to tell you about themselves. And it's okay if he's wanting to, you know, open the closet door. That I will not judge. I'm not going to judge him. And talk about Mr. 25. Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Cynthia says vote independent and for our tangibles and reparations. There you go. Christian, how you doing? Says Black Congressional Caucus. He says it's bought and paid for by AIPAC. That's why all those fossils need to go. Yeah, a lot of people are getting a little shmoney. You know what I mean? But yeah, they definitely are. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? I see I'm terribly behind. Y'all must forgive me for that. Cowpoke. Thank you so much for that. Once again, he says we need more. We need Monroe Nichols, and I'm sorry, who is Monroe Nichols? Please enlighten me if you don't mind me asking. Yeah, Crystal, the beef be looking crazy. You know, some people will say don't eat it. I eat it every once in a while. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Chi-Town boy, what's going on with you? Says I'm late to the party. I hate that I missed the beginning. Black folks need to get off the Democrat plantation. You better tell them again. You right on time with that though, and I know I'm behind. Cujo, how you doing? Says props, Demetra. If voting really mattered, there would be no war, poverty, discrimination, etc. Obviously, the system does not work. See, you like me. You like to follow the breadcrumbs, right? Like, you know, 2 + 2, right? So yeah, you said it perfectly. You saying be independent. Albie Chill says, I think we can just takes being real about our emotions as well as recognizing the root causes of mass psychosis being broadcasted to us. Yeah, see, when we start to study that type of stuff and see the numbers that they've done on us, whether it's Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra, you know, all of those things, those, I don't even know if they're esoteric, right? Maybe they were then secret, but now we know. And in a sense, they're still kind of using those because they're considered to be weapons, right? On us. So, but when we know that's going on, at what point do we start saying, okay, now we got to be accountable for being duped? Because now it's kind of willingly, but yeah, absolutely. Perfection in progress. How you doing? It says all smoke for Trump, none for benign, and neglect. Well, they all should get smoked. Honestly, they all of them. But we know that no politician in Washington, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that nobody in the White House is going to do anything for Black people. Okay, we need to get rid of that disillusion that if we just vote hard enough, if we just get 2 more people to vote for this, then they'll do something. They're not. Okay, they're not. No, they being the Republicans, Democrats, whoever else, they're not. They don't want to. You know why? Because now they don't have to. Who gonna make them? We haven't made them. The next election, 2026, 2028, we'll show up again. Maybe not as much as we used to, but we will. Yes, indeed. Sheila, how you doing? Says there really is a fear of not being attached to the Democrats. Yeah, it is. It's a phobia, right? Thank you, first class citizen. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, hi, Demetra. Did you hear the ridiculous rhetoric that the pastor from Mecklenburg, North Carolina, saying that our ancestors were immigrants to try to justify illegal immigration in America? Yeah, I didn't hear that, but it's not surprising, especially pastors. And I'm assuming he looks like us. It just kind of dates back to the plantation where they told there was slaves that were pastors. He walked around with the Bible in his hand, and our ancestors thought, but we really didn't think that. And I'll get into that in just a second. But some of us thought, oh yeah, he must be very important. He's telling the truth, right? But a lot of those things they're telling him to say, I'm sure he's getting those talking points from somewhere. Well, get out there and tell them that your ancestors are the illegal immigrant. Because unfortunately, some people will believe that. Now, back to our people on the plantation, a lot of our ancestors didn't believe in, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody's religion, but they didn't believe in Christianity. You know why they didn't believe in it? A lot of them, because they're like, okay, per what you telling me, if I do A, B, C, D wrong, I'm going to go to hell. Or, you going to get what you do and all this other stuff. And this is the thing we have to dispel too. We think because our people were slaves, they were dumb, they were slow. They weren't dumb, they weren't slow because they didn't go get dumb, slow people. If they would have went and got dumb, slow people, they'd have their people on there. But anyway, so they were able to connect the dots. Well, if you do something bad, you're going to go to hell. I don't think what massa is doing to us is good. So shouldn't he or she be going to hell? So then they also thought, well, surely they don't believe that. If they believe that, they wouldn't be doing the stuff they're doing to us. In fact, we wouldn't be held in captivity on this plantation. So our people was like, yeah, man, bump all that. We'll pretend because they force us to do this Christianity thing, but we don't believe that because we know he don't believe that. It's just something they want us to believe, right? You behave now, you go to heaven and be washed white as snow. As I said, who the hell want to be washed white as snow? I surely wouldn't want to be that. And I know our people didn't want to be that. Right. But yeah, so thank you for that. I appreciate you once again. Van Man, how you doing? Says, why don't we simply have a black party? Thanks for the stream. Oh, it is my pleasure. I know we've been asked to do that. We can't let go. What is it? Lord of the Rings, which is one of my favorite series. Gollum, Smeagol, whatever one it was. He was like, my precious. He couldn't let it go. That's us. The Democrat Party is my precious. Let's see who else is on here. Rocky Duck, how you doing? Says we need a black party. Yep, I'm with it. Trust me, I am with it. Sunlight says your diplomacy is impressive. You think so? I would say my restraint. American Frankenstein. Oh, speaking of Frankenstein, Netflix got a very good movie, Frankenstein. It was put together so well. Very good. But anyway, he says Republicans and Democrats are both complicit in the destruction and dysfunction of the black communities. Yes, there's no lies there. None. Let's see. Cowpoke, thank you once again. What you do? You hit a lick. You want a lotto or something? But thank you. It says, when I say the Democrats are our party, okay, it says, I'm just saying that we have way more of a chance to carry the political football than with the KKK, right? Yeah, I mean, I get that. And I guess that's the theory. That's where it's supposed to go. Hold them accountable, make them. But we have to have that conversation with each other. How do we make them? And when we figure that out, then we actually follow through, right? Got to put an action plan in place and follow through with that. So yeah, I get what you're saying. And, you know, I think you know this, but they're both the KKK. You know, they had this little Southern switch thing. I don't have enough time to get into it here, but yeah, it was a Southern switch where, you know, the racists from the Democrat Party didn't like the Democrat Party wanted to include Black people, the LBJ legislation, and they was like, yeah, bump that, we gone. So they went to the Republicans, right? It's just in, you know, basic explanation. Callie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says Epstein files vote today. We gonna find out, right? Key 5, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says both parties under Triple K. Yep, absolutely. Mama Poppins, how you doing? Says we have always had the right to choose other than the Democrats. We never had the will. Come on now, except the will to choose what we want and need. There you go. We just don't want to. Sunlight says Dr. Claude Anderson laid out the plan. You cannot skip steps. Black people have no leverage in any level of politics without white envelope money. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Perry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Third grade gamer, what's going on? It says she is the head of the Mecklenburg. Oh, it's a she. Mecklenburg NAACP. You know what? I think I saw that story. I saved it. I didn't get a chance to look into it, but now that you mention it, I'll look into it, but that doesn't surprise me, right? They got to keep us on the plantation. No, you got to, you know, sympathize with the illegal immigrants. They're like you. Somebody should have said, stop lying. You know, I rebuke you or whatever it is, you know. Oh, I got to the bottom. Look at God. Let's see. Z Goddess, how you doing? Let's see. Maybe I'll go back a little bit. Extreme Extra says, yeah, Mr. 25 going through withdrawals. I don't know what his malfunction is, but it's fine. I hope whatever he has going on in his life that he finds peace. I really do hope that, you know, because to be up in people comment sections crashing out and acting like a donkey, that's not a very peaceful state of mind. That's not a you how do you sleep at night? You're probably tossing and turning, fist all balled up. You know, let it go, man. Your problem ain't with me. Your problem is with the truth. Now, I don't know. You might not think I'm telling the truth. You could go Google whatever it is, go to your mama, Obama, find out if what I'm saying is true or not. Then you could do what you need to do with it, but don't take it out on me. I'm just disseminating what I've learned. That's it. It's nothing personal, nothing at all. Veronica, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. On Ida, what's going on? It says, Shalom, your enemies will never. He says, wake us Black folks the hell up. It says, I think he said, wake up. Yeah, we got to wake up for sure. Yeah, is that a bar? Your problem is with the truth. I mean, I'm just saying. I didn't necessarily, like I said, I was a Democrat before. I ain't got to lie to y'all. I told y'all before. The first time Obama won, I couldn't believe it, right? Because we've been hearing, oh, we'll never have a Black president in our time. Oh, it'll never happen. And when it happened, I fell to my knees. Oh, my brother I'll tell y'all because my brother gonna dime me out anyway. Because he'll say, stop lying. You know, he'll tell, she fell to her knees. I did. Okay. I did. And then I woke up, I was like, Obama was a Trojan horse, huh? That's what y'all was trying to say? The people who already knew, right? They was like, don't do it. He's a Trojan horse. But, you know, we did it anyway. And then we did it again. When I say we, I'm talking about me. Did it again. It's like, okay, for sure. He's going to, you know, this is his last term. He's going to do something for us. And then he was like, who, me? There's a lot of things I will do, but one of them will never be for you. So, of course, a lot of us, when I say us, I mean me, have to learn the hard way. But here I am now. Rhonda, how you doing? Says I was a Democrat, but I woke the hell up. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. And there's nothing wrong with waking up, right? We want to wake up because what we have been asleep to is a lot of benign neglect, a lot of, you know, kicking the tailbone to us, a lot of symbolism. A lot of nothing that'll absolutely help us at all. I mean, a fish fry is cool and all of that, but why we get fish and everybody else gets stuff? right? They get legislation. If you're an illegal immigrant, you get stuff that we ain't even getting. Get housing. People, oh my gosh, it's not right. We need to put them in housing. You know, and in New York, they didn't like the food that was given to them in those shelters. They're like, am I going to eat that? And then Mayor Eric Adams, you know where he at now? He over in, you know, kissing walls and stuff. He was like, well, we're going to get them a card with money on it, and they can go to the store and buy the food they like, because nobody should be forced to eat food they don't like. And it's like, listen, homie, I know you got a lot of homeless people in New York City digging in trash cans while you at the mic, you know, big up in people who came over here, right? If you came over here, bring your own food, you know, but he was all for that. And then when Joe Biden said, man, stop asking me for your money, he fell out of favor with the Biden administration. Y'all know all of that or whatever, but yeah. So Ricky say, the truth is we need to separate from the Democrat and the Republican Party. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Cynthia says, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. At least a little bit of sunlight coming in. I work out, drink water, you know, all of that. And genetics. It's a little bit of genetics, but I got some wrinkles. Don't let it fool you, okay? But thank you. Shimmer, how you doing? Says, I never voted Democrat ever. See, you can flex on all of us. And you know what? Well, what do you vote, if you don't mind me asking? You just kind of, you know, where your interests are, where we supposed to be doing. Mavrika, you say, why do you think on every corner in the hood there's an illegal with a store, a bodega? It says a restaurant, a liquor store, etc., because illegals are taken care of by the Democrat Party. Yeah. And they keep telling you, us, I was going to say keep hope alive, but and I should say, you know, prayers to Jesse Jackson. I heard he's not doing well, but I wasn't saying it because of that. But yeah, they tell us to keep hope alive, right? Hope and change. Keep on believing, you know, then rainbow pushing, whatever all that is. But they get stuff. We get hope. As I say, we get the hope that things will change. And it hasn't. Shimmer says, I try to vote for candidates who have our interests at heart. I want our people to prosper. Same. Albie Chill says, Obama Nation was my Democrat wake-up call. Yeah, I think that was true for a lot of us. Rhonda says, Democrat Party fooled me in 2008, but what he did got me doing research, and I became an independent. You got to earn my vote, period. And on that note, I'm going to get out of here, but I'll be back here tomorrow and Thursday. Starting next month, I'm going to be here 4 days. But in the process, if you guys, again, have not gotten our app, ask yourself, why not? What is taking so long to get the app that we have made just for you? Think about that. What's taking me so long? Christian, thank you. Once again, I appreciate that. It says, as the proud son of a Black Afro-Colombian who identifies as Black first, trying to click up with immigrants is a fool's errand. They don't like us anti-Black. No, yeah, a lot of them are very anti-Black, and they've been taught to be that, right? And of course, like, especially with the last administration, they thought they was going to come over here and step all over us, right? They're going to use us as stepping blocks. Screw you, right? They're going to step all over us. And then, well, when your girl, well, not your girl, they girl, well, not them, their girl, Kamala Harris didn't get in office, it was like, oops. And what you say about us? Then, of course, we saw that, well, the Black Americans, look what they're doing to us. It's like, yeah, we see. Well, we also heard what you were saying about us, too. Like, I don't wish anything bad on you, but what do you want me to do about it? You know, stop, leave them alone. Don't deport. I mean, like, what do you want us to do? You know? Anyway, Isaac, how you doing? Yes, Jesse Jackson is the Democrat shield, but, you know, we don't want to disparage him because right now I heard he's on life support. And yeah, he is. He is. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one. Our King of Kampala, how you doing? Says exchanging Trump supporters for ex-Democrats that still hate Black folks is beyond diabolical. Okay. Cynthia says, I hate to be the one to say this. The Biden administration, them immigrants and their immigrant policies helped Mayor Adams lose New York City, as he should have, right? Because he was on board with some of that foolishness until Biden, you know, I think Biden probably said to him, listen, sir, I don't know if you was on that call where I had all the misleadership in the Black community, when they thought they was gonna be demanding stuff. I don't even know what they was asking them for, honestly. But when they Al Sharpton and them, they thought they was gonna be demanding stuff of me, and I said, "You listen to me." So Biden just probably said that to Eric Adams. If you didn't hear it, then you need to go on YouTube and find the footage of me telling them, "Don't you say nothing to me. I'm in control." Okay, you do what I say do. So, and after that, of course, y'all know what happened with Eric Adams. But maybe sounds like he'll get a job with Trump. I don't know. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I'll be back here tomorrow, and I'll be on my show today at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you want to join me, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. And you know what? Make sure y'all stay tuned for all of the stuff that we got going on here, right? We got great videos and other lives coming up. I promise you, you will enjoy all of them. Common Sense, how you doing? Says I voted to not let MAGA into power. Now I want to vote independent and choose candidates that focus on our FBA agenda. That's a great way to go out. Peace.